Welcome to American Catechism by Stab the Dragon Productions for a patriotic whiskey holiday edition. These episodes are where I take a historical event and match it with a whiskey that somehow helps bring out that event. Today is October 3rd, 2025, and I'm speaking about the Battle of Mogadishu, October 3rd and 4th, back in 1993. And we'll be drinking 10th Mountain American Single Malt. Warning: I purposefully mix whiskey with politics, religion, and history, so this could be a disturbing show. Enter at your own risk. Just the whiskey facts. This is a single malt, aged for only 2 years in new American oak, but it's aged in Colorado at over 8,000 feet elevation. This whiskey on the website, it costs $69. It is not available in Texas other than online orders, at least that I've seen. I have not seen this in any stores. But then you got to add $20 for shipping and tax. So, it's about $90 maybe, about that. Tasting notes: chocolate, walnut, coffee, brown sugar, toffee, dark fruit like maybe figs. My score was an 89. Letter grade for drinkability, a solid A. This is a very good whiskey, which, combined with my experience with Stranahan's single malt out of Colorado also, has given me a very high opinion of Colorado craft whiskeys. My only problem is the availability, and that shipping fee kills me. But all that aside, this is a fantastic whiskey that I strongly recommend. All right, let's talk a little history here. Operation Gothic Serpent and the Battle of Mogadishu. In late 1992, the outgoing U.S. President, George H.W. Bush, sent troops into Somalia to help the United Nations restore order during the Somali Civil War. This is exactly the type of stupid nation building that I don't think we should be involved with. And it ended rather badly. It's impossible to fix the third world, pretty much. President Bill Clinton took over in January of 93, and then he sent Task Force Ranger in August to have a mission of capturing Mohammed Aidid, the commander of the Somali National Alliance who had attacked UN troops and stolen supplies and other nefarious deeds, typical of the type. On the afternoon of October 3rd, the U.S. Army Rangers and Delta Force went in to capture some of Aidid's men who were having a meeting, but on the insertion, a soldier fell from the helicopter, got seriously injured, and then an ambush was started. And one Black Hawk helicopter was downed, and then a second one. The firefight and extraction then took all evening, all night, and into the next morning, with hundreds of Somalis killed and wounded, and 18 Americans killed and around 90 wounded. Units involved: Bravo Company, 3rd of the 75th Rangers, Delta Force, 1st of the 160th Special Ops Aviation Regiment, some U.S. Navy SEALs, some CIA guys, U.S. Air Force Special Tactics Squadron, Pararescue, the PJs, and the 10th Mountain Division, along with a variety of allies. This battle was memorialized in Mark Bowden's book, Black Hawk Down. If you've never read this, I highly recommend it. This is a very informative, excellent read. So then there was, of course, the movie, which I don't know if you can see it, but it's up there on the shelf, I think, right there. Bill Clinton's Secretary of Defense Les Aspin resigned shortly after this battle because he was blamed for the failure of the mission, since he had denied the request by the Army for some U.S. Army armor troops, tanks and Bradleys and stuff, and an AC-130 from the Air Force. The Army had requested all those assets, and they were denied. The U.S. pulled its forces out after this battle, signaling to one each Osama bin Laden, that the United States lacked staying power and the toughness required to sustain heavy casualties in a protracted war. Lessons learned. And of course, this set the course for 9/11 and the 20 years of failed war that followed. So much sadness, much misery, much death. The 9/11 Commission from Congress later found out that, yes, bin Laden and al-Qaeda had helped train the Somalis before this fight, and bin Laden specifically mentioned this fight in his 1996 fatwa. We failed to learn the lessons here, and we tried to engage in more nation building in Iraq and Afghanistan less than 10 years later, getting bogged down again in some urban warfare with another third world country and then a bunch of mountain goat herders. The soldiers who fought in this battle are indeed heroes and can be proud of their sacrifices and legacy. This battle should be remembered every October. American politicians, though, seem to never learn. And it's the soldiers who pay. Whiskey details. All right, let's talk about this whiskey. The 10th Mountain Division is a U.S. Army Light Infantry Division stationed in Fort Drum, New York. A light infantry division means they do not utilize armored vehicles and are designed for fast deployments in mountainous regions, jungles, urban centers, because they don't have as much heavy equipment. They are more air mobile, right? They can be airlifted to trouble spots all around the world very quickly. The 10th Light Division, Alpine, was formed in July of 1943 at Camp Hale, Colorado. Now we're getting to why this is named the 10th Mountain whiskey. Elevation, 9,238 feet. In late 1944, the 10th Division was sent to northern Italy in the mountains, where they then broke through the German defensive lines. The division, after the war, was inactivated and reactivated a few times over the years. But in 1985, it was reactivated again at Fort Drum under Commanding General, Major General William Carpenter. General Carpenter was my brigade commander, colonel, when I was in 3rd Brigade, 9th Infantry Division, 1981 to 82. So yeah, quite the guy, Major General Carpenter. The 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit Company is in Vail, Colorado, 22 miles east of the old Camp Hale, at about 8150 elevation, something like that. Formed in 2014 by Christian Avignon and Ryan Thompson. Avignon's grandfather had served in the 10th Division in World War II. Some of the World War II 10th Mountain vets came back to Colorado after the war and set up ski shops, right? And ski instructions and all that. So this distillery does team up with some local veterans groups, ministries, programs to give ongoing aid to veterans. And so for that, I went ahead and purchased, this is my second bottle from 10th Mountain. The first was their rye, which is outstanding. And then there's the single malt that's outstanding. This whiskey won double platinum at the Ascot Awards, Best in Show at Key West Spirits Competition, and gold at the Bartender Spirits Awards in 2024. So 5 out of 5 points for history. Bottle, label, and marketing. The brand does have some good marketing, because 4 or 5 years ago, when I began searching for military-related whiskeys, their ads began to pop up. And so I immediately ordered, and their rye was their least expensive offering, so I ordered that first and was very pleased with that. I mean, that was outstanding. It still is. I don't think I may have some left. And then I ordered the single malt this year. The bottle, you see, is tall, it's round, it's very slender. So it's a little bit of a shelf anatomy. I mean, you got to have a tall shelf for this one. It's got a long, straight neck. So it's really not a very attractive bottle. I'm not a fan of this bottle shape. However, the label is nice and interesting. It's got large blue label with white letters and a red note down at the bottom. So you got red, white, and blue going on there. That's nice. It has a soldier wearing white, and he's got a rifle sling. He's got a rifle slung over his shoulder, and he's carrying skis. That's what that is those are skis. So it's a hearkening back to the World War II 10th Mountain Alpine and their ski training, which I think the guys at Fort Drum do some of that as well. So, really it's a pretty nice label, and you can't see it really, but there's a stamp here, and it looks like crossed bayonets, and it says limited edition. So even though I'm not a fan of the bottle shape, their marketing is good, their label's good, and that's impressive. So 5 out of 5 points for bottle, label, and marketing. Appearance of this whiskey. You can see that it's reasonably dark. Not overly dark, but that's fairly dark there in the glass. There, it doesn't look as dark in the glass as it does in the bottle, and that's common. And I'm using my double rocks glass, Army double rocks glass there instead of my Glencairn today. Oh, that's good. Okay, so the appearance of the whiskey, it's not quite copper colored. It's a dark amber tan, maybe a little bit more red in the bottle. So that's still a 3. That's 3 out of 5 for color and appearance. Composition. This whiskey is a single malt, so it is 100% malted barley. And some of the whiskey places here in Texas will list which kind of barley they use and which kind of corn, which kind of wheat or rye. That's really nice. I like that about the Texas whiskeys. This one I could not find any information about other than it's barley. Okay. The bottle says that it is aged 2 years in New American oak. And to get this rich of a flavor in 2 years, that's outstanding. That's the terroir of Colorado going for it. That's the elevation and the climate. Absolutely. So for composition, though, a point off because they didn't list what kind of barley they used. 14 out of 15. On the nose, this has got what I'm now calling Colorado funk. It is very similar to Texas funk. If you've had some Texas whiskeys, you know what I'm talking about. Notably like TX, Balcones, Garrison Brothers. This has got a very similar smell. What is the Colorado funk? It's a bit vegetal, but smoky, earthy, leather, sweet cereal. This is a delicious nose. 9 out of 10. Man, maybe I should have gone even higher. 9 out of 10. Fantastic nose. Taste. The taste is true to the nose, only better. The single malt flavor is there. You get some sweet cereal grain. You get a little bit of a bite from the barley. But what dominates here is the funk. It's woody, a little bit vegetal, kind of smoky. I guess that's the char from the barrels, maybe. A little bit smoky. Tobacco, leather, and dark chocolate. Dark fruits like maybe figs. All of this blended perfectly together. But it gives that odd aroma and flavor that I'm calling the Colorado funk. That is so close to the Texas funk, I doubt I could tell them apart. This is magnificent. this matches all my Texas whiskeys. I mean, it is that good. Now, I am really inexperienced with American single malts, so I really wasn't sure what to expect. But I've had this one and I've had Stranahan's from Denver. And both of them had this funk, this Colorado funk. And so I am absolutely 100% digging that. So for taste, 24 out of 25 points. Man, mouthfeel, burn, and finish. This is 90 proof. 2-year-old, 90 proof. And it's just a little bit disappointing in the mouthfeel. I think I would like it to be a little bit richer. So it's not thin, but you know, I kind of wanted it to be more, maybe. The burn is quite mild. This is not a heavy burn at all. It's very gentle, smooth. It's more of a tingle, really. And I'm one who likes the burn. Okay, so I grew up eating hot stuff, and so I like a burn. This has got a very mild burn. It's very smooth. So if you're a little bit sensitive to that stuff, well, I think this one might do you good. You know, I'm sitting here wanting a little bit more of a burn from this one, but it's fine. The flavors do linger some, so I'm saying it's a medium finish, possibly a bit more. The flavors of the funk stay in the mouth. The wood, the vegetal flavor, this char, it all does linger really for a nice finish. So I'll say a strong medium finish. 13 out of 15 points for the mouthfeel, burn, and finish. Now, neat or mixer. Neat, this is absolutely amazing, but this is way too expensive for me to use in a cocktail. You know, if I'm spending about $90 on a whiskey, the chances of me putting this on ice are slim, especially at 90 proof. The chances of me mixing this as a cocktail, nothing, zero, zip, nada. So, I mean, that's just me, okay? Maybe you say, hey, if it's 90, it's going to be great in a cocktail, and I bet this would be. And so you would put it in a cocktail, make an old-fashioned with this. This would be great. I'm not sure that I want to do that. I mean, once I hit 40, I start questioning whether it's worth making a cocktail with. After 50, I just don't. Maybe I should try that. I don't know. But so neat or mixer though, 4 out of 5, because again the shipping price, well, and the base price is $69. So it's just a bit much for me to do a mixer, but I think it would be good. Even though 90 proof, this is a little bit tame. So 4 out of 5 points for neat or mixer. Price, value, and availability. This whiskey is not available in Texas as far as I know at any stores. I've never seen it in a store. So I did order it from 10th Mountain. Their ordering process is really pretty quick and easy. It got here quick and easy. The website says it costs $69.99 on sale. I think it's got $79.99 as the regular price, but for several years it's been $69.99. So it's a marketing thing. But then you got to add on a little bit of tax and about $15 of shipping and insurance, add a couple more dollars. So it comes out to be about $90, I think. So that's pretty pricey for me. I don't have many whiskeys that are that price. Am I glad that I bought this? Oh, 100%. This is marvelous. So it's worth it. Once. Maybe not again. I don't know. Great value for the price. This is fantastic. But will I buy it again? Oof, I don't know. So 7 out of 10 for price, value, and availability. Bonus points. Well, the history behind this, the fact that it's from my birth state, Colorado, The elevation, the terroir, the flavors, the nose, the label, everything. Definitely 5 out of 5 bonus points. So this gives me a total score of an 89. And letter grade for drinkability is a solid A. Again, I was left wishing for just a little bit more at 90 proof than what it offers. My analysis and recommendation. This is a great whiskey. Combined with my experience with Stranahan's, this has given me a very high opinion of Colorado craft whiskeys, and I think I'm going to be ordering more. My only problem is availability because, you know, the shipping fee kills me, but other than Stranahan's, I don't know if any other Colorado whiskey is available in my stores locally. So all that aside, this is fantastic and I strongly recommend it. The similarities with Texas whiskeys are strong. The Colorado funk is very close to the Texas funk. The terroir, the climate, the elevation, all this makes a huge difference in the making of whiskeys. Compare this 2-year-old with a bottle of 12-year-old Scotch. My gosh, this would win every time. I mean, Scotch is different. Terroir gives a different flavor, a different feel, everything. And so to put this against a Scotch would be unfair. I think this is American single malts are a different category. You know, you can say, well, they're all single malts. I don't believe that. It's like I lump Texas whiskeys, Texas bourbon as being a different category from Kentucky bourbon. So there you go. Conclusion. Up next, tomorrow is Saturday, October 4th. That's National Vodka Day. Now, I'm just not much of a vodka guy, but I've got a Texas vodka here from Iron Wolf. Now, their bourbon and their rye are fantastic, amazing. This is Giddy Up. This is a horseradish flavored vodka. And I have struggled with regular vodka because regular vodka is tasteless, odorless, it's useless. I don't know. I've tried making martinis and just going, what is this? Okay, I made a martini with this one, and it's like, oh, okay, this one actually tastes good. So tomorrow is National Vodka Day. I may actually do a video with vodka. Who knows? And then next week, we've got a lot of history going on next week. On the 9th is Leif Erikson Day, and the 10th is the anniversary of Charles Martel defeating the Muslim army at the Battle of Tours, France. Got a new piece of art up there. You can't see it on the camera, though, but it's artwork of the Battle of Tours, France in 732 AD, which was a defining moment in Western civilization. So I've got a French whiskey waiting in the wings here. Bring in a French single malt. So that's going to come up with the Charles Martel episode. And then we've got Columbus Day coming up, and so I've got a rum from the Dominican Republic. The island used to be called Hispaniola, which Columbus discovered in his first trip. So we're going to do a Dominican rum for Columbus Day, I hope. All right, this is American Catechism and Stab the Dragon, out here.